Hello, Ninny here from Ninny's Napkins, and today I'm going to show you how to make a beautiful illuminated bottle just like this one. First, let's gather some supplies. Everything I use in this video today can be found at ninnysnapkins.com. You're going to need some white rice paper, usually about 2 sheets per bottle. You're going to need 2 liner brushes, one a little bigger than the other, a little cup of water, some Polyvine Decorator's varnish in the finish of your choice. You're going to need a cork light, and you're going to need a napkin. I chose this beautiful Flowers with Dragonfly napkin. Of course, you need a clear glass bottle. Alcohol bottles work really well for this. And you need a soft, flat, wide brush. We call this a 1-inch decoupage brush at ninnysnapkins.com. Step 1 is to cover our entire bottle in this white rice paper. You'll notice that it has beautiful visible fibers. And when it gets wet, it goes somewhat transparent, which is what allows the light to shine through the bottle. First of all, we want to remove any straight edges. So I typically go around the whole sheet of paper and remove the straight edges first. You might also want to try water cutting. I would use the slightly wider brush with a bit of water and just paint along the edges. You'll find that the longer side of the rice paper is much harder to remove, and that's just because of the direction of the grain in the paper. Myself, I prefer to just tear off the edges of the dry paper and not bother with the water, but you do whatever works best for you. Once you've removed all the straight edges, go ahead and tear your rice paper up into small pieces. I find that about 2-inch square pieces works well for me. You really don't need to overthink this. There is no right or wrong way of doing this. An assortment of sizes and shapes would probably be best. Once you've got a good pile of little ripped up rice paper pieces, we can go ahead and start gluing them onto our bottle. We're going to be using Polyvine Decorator's varnish as our glue. I'm using it in a gloss finish, but you can use whichever finish you prefer. Decorator's varnish comes in a dead flat, satin, and a gloss. I prefer to use varnishes for this over glues such as Mod Podge or Elmer's PVA because I find it saturates more into the rice paper and helps the rice paper to become more transparent. Anytime I've tried to use Mod Podge for this, I find the rice paper stays mostly dry, and so it just doesn't get as clear, which isn't really the effect that I'm looking for. It doesn't give that frosted glass look. So what you want to do is take your nice soft flat brush and just apply a little bit of the varnish directly onto the bottle, then lay a piece down and apply another coat of varnish directly over the top. Then you're going to continue the same process, adding piece by piece, overlapping each piece a little bit. Again, you really don't need to overthink this. There's no right or wrong way of doing it. How much you overlap really is dependent on you. I tend to not overlap very much. But as you can see, I'm really just kind of slapping these pieces on here fairly quickly. I'm not putting a whole lot of thought into this, and I'm not stressing over how it looks. We are, after all, going to be covering most of this up with a napkin. Once you reach the base of your bottle, whether or not you cover the base with the rice paper is entirely up to you. I don't always cover it, but I think what you do want to do is make sure that you at least wrap some of the rice paper underneath on the edges. It's just going to help it look a little bit better so you won't have any gaps in your paper. In this case, I do cover the whole bottom of the bottle, but like I said, that's completely personal preference. For the neck of the bottle, you may find it easier to work with slightly smaller pieces. So you can go ahead and tear some of those pieces in half that you've already made. You're just going to be repeating the same process as before. Apply a little bit of varnish onto the neck of the bottle, lay your rice paper down, and then apply some more varnish over the top. As it dries, if you find that you've missed any little spaces, you have any little holes in your rice paper, you can just go ahead and cover that with a small piece. For the very top of the bottle, you can leave it without any rice paper at all, or you can apply some rice paper and kind of tuck it inside. That's usually my preferred method, as the rice paper will hide most of the cork once we insert it into the bottle. So you're just using the same method as before, and then I like to use my brush to just kind of push it down inside of that bottle neck. And there we go. Now our entire bottle is covered in white rice paper. You need to allow it to dry at least enough to be able to handle it comfortably. In the meantime, we can start water cutting out the pieces of our napkin. First, we need to remove the 2 white backing layers of the napkin. This first layer came off really easily, but I can tell there's still a second layer because the image is not very clear. Now you can see once I've peeled off that second white layer that the back of the napkin is almost as bright and as clear as the front. Now to water cut my napkin, I definitely want a really fine brush so that we don't have too much water. And you'll see that I often brush off a little bit of water on the side first. Then you're essentially just painting the line that you would want to cut. I paint a couple of inches, 2 or 3 inches, and then I gently pull the napkin apart to separate it. The reason that we're doing this rather than using scissors is because you want a feathered edge on your napkin. This allows it to dissolve into the background so you don't see those harsh edges. I'm starting by removing any of the images from this napkin that are kind of cut in half or have straight lines, as they're not going to really work with my design. And now I'm just taking the napkin apart in smaller pieces that are a little more easy to manage and to work with. I start by going between images, cutting where there's only white napkin, but eventually this napkin, I have to cut the larger images into smaller pieces. And rather than cut right down the middle of a big flower or through the middle of a dragonfly, I find it easier to find a line where there's not a lot of connecting images, like through a thin stem. This will make it a lot easier to connect the images on the bottle again. And believe me, it goes pretty seamlessly. You really won't know that you cut these images in half. So I'm continuing on the other side so that I have a good pile of images to get me started. I can always add more later if these don't completely cover the bottle, but I like to at least have, 3 or 4 pieces to get started with. So again, I'm just cutting off any of the images that are cut off by the edge of the napkin. I just don't want those. I don't want any sharp edges in my napkin design. And this napkin was kind of funny because on the other side, the dragonfly, the more colorful dragonfly at the bottom got cut off by the bottom of the napkin, but on this side it didn't. So I think I actually end up using more pieces from this half of the napkin than I did from the first half. Now I could apply this whole piece that I'm cutting out now to the bottle, but it is definitely easier to work with smaller pieces of napkins. And like I said, they're not difficult to line up on the bottle. So I do tend to make them a little bit smaller. So now I have a good pile of water cut napkins to get started with. I can begin to glue them or adhere them onto my bottle. I say adhere because we're going to be using the same Polyvine Decorator's varnish that we use to apply the white rice paper onto the bottle. For the same reasons as we spoke about before, I'm not really a fan of using Mod Podges or glues when working with napkins. Not only do I find that Mod Podge and most PVA glues have an offensive smell, whereas the Polyvine varnish does not. But I also, I don't like the way that napkins react with those products, and I don't like how those products finish a piece. I feel like you still need to apply a varnish over the top. So I'd rather just deal with one product and not switch back and forth. So I almost always use polyvine varnishes when working with napkins. Now here I've decided that I'm going to separate this piece even further. And this is what I was talking about before about, you know, this is kind of one large image. There's no clear line to separate these. So I'm going to kind of take the path of least resistance and try and cut through the smallest amount of images as I can, if that makes any sense. But I do want to show you how I pieced these three pictures, or three pieces of pictures, back onto this bottle. So I'm actually going to start with the centerpiece, just because I think it's the biggest and possibly the most important. Now I do have a straight line on the bottom of my napkins, but that's because that's going to be at the bottom of the bottle, and I am going to wrap it under. Of course, every napkin design is different. So some of what I'm doing here today is not going to apply to you if you're using a different napkin. Some napkins just have one large image. Some have lots of different little tiny images that you can cover the entire bottle with, and you can separate them all very easily. So again, I apply a thin layer of varnish directly onto the bottle, and then I very carefully and very gently lay my piece of napkin down. And then I avoid touching it with my fingers as much as possible. Your fingers are dry and have a lot of texture, and they tend to rip the napkin. What you want to do anytime you're going to be touching your napkin is to use your wet brush, wet with varnish. So because we're using a very soft, flat, wide brush, it is very gentle on the napkin as long as the napkin remains fairly dry. So it starts off dry. Then as you're applying some varnish, it's going to get wet, but it doesn't really become very delicate until it's already been soaked with varnish for, at least 10 seconds or so. So you have a little bit of work time. But after that, I would recommend not touching your napkin at all anymore. So I like to dry between each piece in a case like this. So I'm just using a hair dryer because that's just what I have handy for now. I prefer a heat tool, a craft tool, because there's a lot less airflow and they're a lot quieter. But any normal hair dryer will work for this. I really want to make sure that I don't accidentally touch this wet napkin now because it will stick to my hands. And I did accidentally hit the bottle with that dryer. And I left this part in because I wanted to show you kind of how I corrected my mistake. I hit it with the dryer and I damaged the dragonfly's wing a little bit. But I resisted the urge to touch it with my fingers, and I used my brush instead to push the piece of napkin back into place. It wasn't perfect, but to be honest, if I don't point it out to anybody, nobody's ever going to notice. So here I'm lining up the second piece. So there's only a couple of points of contact where I cut through parts of the image that I actually have to line up. Any part of the napkin that's white is going to completely dissolve and disappear onto this bottle. So I'm really just focusing on those little printed bits that need to basically touch each other. And as you can see, it goes pretty seamlessly, and you'll never ever guess that those two pieces were not attached. So there I'm just using the brush to curl a little bit of the napkin underneath the bottle. And I'm working on this piece of napkin in sections rather than trying to adhere the entire piece all at one time. I did the bottom half and now I'm doing the top half. I just find that makes it a little bit easier and you get fewer wrinkles that way. Speaking of wrinkles though, this bottle might look fairly wrinkle-free in pictures and in videos, but I promise you it is not. There's a close-up. You can start to get an idea of how this is going to look. And I'll just show you how I attach this third piece. So now I'm doing the left hand piece. And I'll admit I actually did mess this up a little bit because some point that flower shifted on me and the stem didn't line up, but that's okay. Like I said, unless I point it out to anybody, nobody's going to notice. Again, I'm just carefully lining it up here. Then when I've got it in position, I hold it still with that finger at the top. And then I'm going to lift up the bottom half of the napkin, apply that little bit of varnish, lay it down, and then apply another coat of varnish over the top right away. And I'm using my brush to smooth out the napkin. Don't be too gentle with your brush. I like to apply some pressure here. Think of it as you're kind of squeegeeing out any bubbles or wrinkles. After the bottom half is adhered, I fold down the top half, making sure that it doesn't stick to the bottom half that I just varnished. And then using my brush to smooth it all out again. I did apply one more piece of napkin to the back of this bottle just to fill in any spaces, but I didn't think that you needed to see it one more time. So once this is completely dry, it's time to add in my cork light. These can be a little bit frustrating and challenging to untangle, but with a little bit of patience, we can have success here. And there is no trick that I have found so far to getting this cork light gracefully into the bottle. You just kind of unwind the whole, it's just a wire with some lights on it. You unwind the wire and stick the one end inside of the bottle and just start shoving it down in there until you reach all the way to the cork. Now, I do recommend testing your cork light before you go to all that trouble. So you pull out the little plastic tab that sits between the batteries and just give it a try. I chose the multicolored lights for this bottle because I thought that they really suited it. But you can also get these lights in warm white and cool white. Which lights you choose really just depends on personal preference. But sometimes the napkin that you chose may help you decide on which color of light is best. I really like the multicolor lights for this particular bottle. So there you go, the finished bottle with no lights on at all. It's still very beautiful. There it is with lights during the daylight and with the lights out. I really hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial and that you'll give it a try. Thank you for watching and have a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays.